Hello everyone, this video is on Claisen condensation. Now what is Claisen condensation? Claisen condensation is a condensation reaction between two molecules of esters. Okay, so when you react two molecules of esters in the presence of a base, you get the product which is a beta keto ester. So let's write down the equation. So here is an ester that reacts with a base followed by reaction with acid, and it's going to form the beta keto ester. With alcohol. Now, why this is a beta keto ester? Why this is a beta keto ester? So if you look into it, this is your first functional group or first ester functional group, and the next position is an alpha position, and this is a beta position. And because you have a keto group right there, it's a beta keto ester. So for Claisen ester condensation, the base that is used should be exactly the same as the leaving group. Okay, so you can see that the base is exactly the same as leaving group. Okay, let's go into the mechanism. There are three different steps involved in this mechanism. First one is base goes and abstracts a proton and forms the enolate ion. It abstracts the alpha hydrogen of the first molecule of the ester and forms an enolate ion. And in the second step, the enolate ion adds to the second carbonyl compound or the second ester to form the tetrahedral intermediate. And in the third step, the pi bond reforms, eliminating the alkoxide ion. Okay, so let's do the actual reaction, actual mechanism. So here I have my first molecule of my ester. Okay, with the use of a base, remember the base should be exactly the same as the leaving group. Here is the leaving group, and the base should be exactly the same as that of the leaving group. The base will come and abstract this hydrogen and thrust these electrons onto the carbon, forming the enolate ion. And in the next step, the second molecule of the aldehyde, ester, comes in the mechanism. The enolate ion will go and add to the cardinal carbon of the second molecule of ester and thrust these electrons onto oxygen. Until this point, it's going to be exactly the same as that of aldol condensation. Okay. So now oxygen will have its negative charge. And in the last step, the pi bond reforms by the oxygen pushing in the electrons, and the alkoxide ion is going to leave. And the product for this reaction is a beta keto ester Again, because this is your ester and the keto group is in the beta position. So this is your alpha position, this is the beta position. The product would be beta keto ester. Okay, now what's the basic difference between Claisen condensation and aldol condensation? In a Claisen condensation, because it is a Claisen ester condensation, you will use esters. For an aldol reaction, you will either use an aldehyde or keto. And remember, in a Claisen ester condensation, the base should be exactly the same as the leaving group. Okay. If you don't use exactly the same base as the leaving group, then there might be different products obtained. Here, the base doesn't matter because there is not a leaving group, and as long as the base is able to go and grab the alpha hydrogen, it should be fine. And mechanism wise, when you look into the tetrahedral intermediate, the last step after the tetrahedral intermediate is formed, the oxygen is going to have the negative charge on it. Okay, so here is the tetrahedral intermediate in Claisen condensation, whereas in aldol condensation, so this is the one. The main difference in mechanism is here you have a leaving group. Alkoxide ion would be the leaving group. But here there is no leaving group. We remember hydrogen and carbon, they have exactly pretty much the same electronegativity, and therefore hydrogen is resistant to leave, right? So when the oxygen comes in here, the OR is going to leave. Okay, so forming the beta keto ester. But in the case of an aldehyde, the oxygen is going to get the proton from the acid. So the acid here is water, so it's going to go grab the hydrogen from water, thereby forming the beta hydroxyaldehyde. Whereas here it would be beta keto ester. Okay, next, crossed Claisen ester condensation. It is the condensation between two different ester molecules. Okay, so the ester molecules should be completely different. Okay. And again, you will get mixture of different products in the Claisen ester condensation, and you should find a way to minimize the number of side products that is obtained. Okay, and here is a problem for you guys to do, and I definitely want you guys to attempt this problem to concentrate on the to get you guys prepared for the exam. So crossed Claisen condensation is the condensation between two different esters.